Sometimes a single sentence in a book can unlock its deepest secrets. Today, we're going to dissect one powerful quote from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein that honestly reveals everything about guilt, responsibility, and what it really means to be a monster.
So here's the moment. Victor Frankenstein learns about a murder, and his mind immediately goes to his creation. He says, "I had turned loose into the world a depraved wretch, whose delight was in carnage and misery." And when you first hear that, it sounds like a tragic, straightforward confession, right?
Yeah, at first glance, it feels like this powerful admission of guilt. Victor, the brilliant scientist, seems to be taking full responsibility for the carnage and misery he's caused. It's this horrifying moment of clarity, or at least that's what it seems like. But is that really what's happening here? It's so easy to just take a narrator at their word, especially in a moment of high drama like this. But what if the person telling the story has a really good reason to shape the narrative? Let's look closer, not just at what Victor is saying, but how he's saying it. Okay, let's actually break down the specific words Victor chooses to use, because his language isn't just descriptive, oh no, it's a powerful act of judgment, and it tells us everything about his own bias. Think about this phrase, a depraved wretch. He doesn't say a confused creature or an abandoned being. No, he calls him a depraved wretch. That's not an observation, folks. That is a final verdict on the creature's very soul. See, the word depraved implies an inherent built-in evil. By using that specific word, Victor is making an argument. He's saying the creature was born wicked, that its nature is just fundamentally corrupt. And, that conveniently lets him skip over any questions about why it might have become this way. And then he doubles down. He takes it a whole step further. Victor doesn't just describe the creature's actions, he claims to know its inner feelings. He insists that the creature takes delight, actual pleasure, in causing all this suffering. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How could he possibly know that? The short answer is he can't. He has absolutely no idea what the creature is feeling or thinking. This is pure projection. Victor is basically assigning a motive that paints the creature as pure evil, which makes his own role in all this seem a lot less complicated. He's becoming what we call an unreliable narrator. But honestly, the most damning piece of evidence here isn't even in Victor's judgmental words. It's in the context. A crucial detail he just casually mentions, hidden in plain sight, that changes absolutely everything. 2 years. Let that sink in. Victor admits that 2 whole years have passed since he abandoned his creation. 2 years of silence, of neglect, of complete absence. For 2 years, he had no idea what happened to the life he brought into the world. This isn't some minor detail. It's a massive, echoing void of responsibility. So let's just put it side by side. On one hand, you have Victor's claim, a creature who's just evil for evil's sake. But on the other hand, you have the unseen reality, a being abandoned at birth, left totally alone for 2 years without any guidance, kindness, or companionship. This context completely forces us to rethink the entire tragedy. So what we're realizing is this quote isn't a simple confession at all. It's the final link in a tragic chain of events. A chain that Victor himself started right at the very beginning. I mean, the chain of events is just undeniable. Victor creates life, then he abandons it. That single act of abandonment is the direct cause of the creature's suffering, which eventually leads to violence. So when Victor delivers this quote, he's not explaining the tragedy, he's trying to erase his own role as its number one cause. So here's the crucial point, the real significance of this quote. It's not Victor accepting blame. It's the exact opposite. It's a masterful piece of self-deception. It's his way of framing the story so that he's the victim of a monster he unfortunately created, rather than the negligent father of a being he tragically failed. And digging into this one quote brings us right to the heart of Mary Shelley's novel. It uncovers the central question that the entire story is asking us, the reader, to figure out. So what's the big takeaway here? Victor's condemnation of his creature isn't some objective truth. It's born from his own prejudice. He becomes an unreliable narrator to shield himself from his own catastrophic failure. And that failure, a creator abandoning his creation, that is the real tragedy of Frankenstein. So we're left with this question, aren't we? Who is the real monster? Is it the physically grotesque creature who's driven to violence after 2 years of isolation and cruelty? Or is it the handsome, brilliant man who, in a fit of selfish terror, ran away from his most fundamental responsibility? That is what this quote forces us to decide.